In continuation to the earlier session, we are in oxidation reduction concept. In that, individual oxidizing agents are going to be discussed in the various sessions. Earlier, we discussed about the oxygen driven oxidation process. So that in continuation of that one, now we are going to discuss about oxidation in the presence of hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is taken as the oxidizing agent. What kind of oxidation reactions are carried in terms of this hydrogen peroxide, what will be the synthetic route for hydrogen peroxide synthesis, and all possible applications are going to be discussed in the detailed manner, and the named reactions decided with the hydrogen peroxide oxidizing agent. This is the way the session is going to be forwarding. So let's enter into the oxidation process pertaining with the hydrogen peroxide as the oxidizing agent, right? If you observe hydrogen peroxide, it is accompanied by the H2O2 molecular formula. And here it is available in the form of open book model. And here you can notice oxygen-oxygen linkage is direct. Single bond linkage is said to be a peroxy linkage, and individual oxygens are resided with two lone pair of electrons, and the terminal hydrogens are present on these oxygen atoms. This is the way the molecular structure is represented in a open book model. In another possibility, you can notice here is the wedge bond with the hydrogen. In either is the dotted line bond with the hydrogen. Wedge bond is moving or oriented towards the viewer, and this dotted line bond is indicated away from the viewer. Again, this is also said to be what three-dimensional representation of hydrogen peroxide. Again, it is open book model, only bent molecule we can clearly say. And this is said to be what a two-dimensional representation. Right, so this is the way our twisted molecular representation is mentioned with this 3D ball and stick model. And you can clearly observe one of the hydrogen is inclined towards the viewer, another hydrogen is away from the viewer. You can notice hydrogen peroxide is the kind of colorless liquid you can notice over here, and it is available in such a kind of packages, right? So now let's enter into a concept what we are discussing. Oxidation with hydrogen peroxide is an important and environmental friendly method. Before discussing about this one, let me stress the session is powered by AI. AI stands for artificial intelligence, the content which is retrieved from the artificial intelligence, so that we can say AI powered session. Oxidation with hydrogen peroxide is an important environmental friendly method for oxidizing organic and inorganic compounds. Why we are stressing this hydrogen peroxide oxidation is the kind of environmentally benign, environmentally friendly, because the product after the oxidation, the product which is generated is water itself, which is harmless and non-toxic in nature. This reaction leverages hydrogen peroxide as an oxidant, considered a green oxidizing agent because of its a byproduct water. Below is an overview of the key aspects of the oxidation using hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, whenever subjected to oxidation, the important criteria will be a formation of water as a byproduct. That's the reason why it is the environmentally friendly in nature. Whenever hydrogen peroxide able to release the nascent oxygen upon treating with the aldehyde, this is aldehyde, further it will be oxidized into a next level, that is higher oxidation product, that is carboxylic acid. Hydrogen peroxide is able to oxidize this alcohol or hydroxy compound into corresponding ketonic one, right? And there is a provision whenever thioether was taken and upon treating with this hydrogen peroxide, giving rise to a sulfone type of product. Sulfones, sulfur containing ketones will be originated. Olefin, upon reacting with hydrogen peroxide, there is a formation of corresponding epoxide. A cyclic ether is said to be what? Epoxide. So this is a kind of a brief description where the hydrogen dihydrogen dioxide is taken as a common oxidizing agent in all possible oxidation process, right? This is about oxidation using hydrogen peroxide. Now we are going to cook this. Cooking is nothing but how can we synthesize this one? How can we prepare this hydrogen peroxide? So let's cook that. In order to synthesize hydrogen peroxide in the laboratory scale, barium peroxide will be taken. Upon treating with the strong acid called sulfuric acid, there is a formation of hydrogen peroxide in addition to the barium sulfate. Right. So sulfuric acid is able to accept the peroxide from the barium, and that will be turned into hydrogen peroxide, and whatever leftover sulfate will be bonded with the barium dipositive ion. And electrolytic process is carried in order to achieve this hydrogen peroxide as the final output. In order to make that at the anodic condition, you may ionize the sulfuric acid into a monopositive protons. H plus is simply regarded as a proton, and HSO4 minus bisulfate ions will be originated. This reaction carried at anodic region, and whatever anion generated, HSO4 minus further dimerized. This is the process said to be a dimerization, and H2SO2O8 will be generated, which is in turn called peroxydisulfuric acid. Upon dimerization, there is a liberation of 2 electrons are possible. 2 electrons released will be accepted by protons. H plus are regarded as the protons itself, and they got converted into a hydrogen molecule. A gaseous hydrogen molecule generated at cathodic region being electrons accepted, it is the kind of reduction. H2S2O8 is called a peroxydisulfuric acid. Upon reacting with water, it's subjected to hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is the process where any substance will be cleaved upon reacting with water, able to cleave that molecule, right? So lysis stands for breakage of the bonds, and upon reacting with water is called hydrolysis. So there is a provision to achieve H2SO5. Peroxymonosulfuric acid will be generated, and further it is subjected to hydrolysis. There is a formation of, whenever hydrolyzed, there is a formation oxygen being released, and that turned into a H2O2. So water will be accepting this peroxy oxygen, so that hydrogen peroxide will be obtained, and another byproduct will be H2SO4. H2SO4 consumed at the starting process, and even at the end we achieved the sulfuric acid again, so that it is restored. There is a formation of hydrogen peroxide. So this is another electrolytic process we can denote, we can notice, and another method is also there. This is said to be polyannular system, tricyclic system it will be. It is called 2-ethyl anthraquinol, right? So anthracene nucleus is located upon anthracene. The central ring is accompanied by the 2 hydroxyl groups, and here is the ethyl at the beta position. This is called anthraquinol. Upon reaction with oxygen, so oxygen able to turn this hydroxyl into a ketonic moieties. The corresponding quinol is turning into a quinone moiety. Quinone is nothing but oxidized. Whenever hydrogens got removed, that is said to be a kind of oxidized product, quinone will be generated. In addition to this quinone, here is hydrogen able to react with oxygen, that turned into a product called H2O2, hydrogen peroxide. This is the way 3 different reactions are provided for our generation of hydrogen peroxide. One is said to be reaction of sulfuric acid with barium peroxide, that is giving hydrogen peroxide, and electrolytic process of sulfuric acid, and finally there is a formation of this hydrogen peroxide. Anthraquinone, upon oxidation with oxygen in the presence of platinum catalyst, that is giving rise to a hydrogen peroxide. There are certain other reactions which are also mentioned. Sodium peroxide was taken. The sodium peroxide, upon reacting with water, said to be hydrolysis itself. There is a formation of, being sodium as a metal able to accept the hydroxide, and there is a formation of alkaline solution called the sodium hydroxide. In addition to this one, there is another product formation called H2O2. H2O2 is also generated over there. In the place of cold water, you may take dilute sulfuric acid. Sodium peroxide in a small amount can be taken. We may replace water with sulfuric acid as well. That's the reason why here is the product, a slight difference in the product formation. Instead of sodium hydroxide, there is a formation of salt called sodium sulfate, and whatever ultimate product we are expecting, that also generated called hydrogen peroxide. This is the way sodium peroxide may treated either with water or else sulfuric acid. In both the process, there is a provision for the origination of hydrogen peroxide as the final product. Peroxide obtained always consists a small dissolved sodium sulfate in that. So there is a slight impurity accompanied with the hydrogen peroxide. The concentration of hydrogen peroxide is about 3%. This is not up to the limit. So that extent of impurities are accompanied by this hydrogen peroxide by this process. Barium peroxide, just now we gone through this barium peroxide. Whenever barium peroxide is treated with sulfuric acid, there is a formation of barium sulfate. In addition to H2O2, just now we gone through this kind of reaction over there, right? So any hydrous barium peroxide can be taken. This is the form called hydrated one. Hydrated barium peroxide when taken, there is another byproduct you can notice. Water in the plenty, excessive quantity, octa water molecules are generated. Instead, you may go for the anhydrous form of this barium peroxide, so that there are only two products you can notice. One is barium sulfate, and either will be hydrogen peroxide, right? So this is the way you can achieve the product, and the reaction carried at extremely lower temperature at 0 degrees centigrade. That is optimum level to carry the reaction. And we have a glance regarding hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is represented with that kind of a peroxy linkage, stands for oxygen direct bondage. And here is the hydrogen inclined towards the Vr, and another hydrogen away from the Vr with the dotted line bond. IUPAC is mentioned, it's a name hydrogen peroxide. IUPAC stands for International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry. In accordance with the IUPAC, hydrogen peroxide is a common nomenclature, and the molar mass for this molecule is resided with the 34.0147 gram per mole. Density of the molecule will be 1.45 gram per centimeter cube. It is the density, right? Boiling point, it boils, hydrogen peroxide boils at the temperature 150.2 degrees centigrade. Melting point is mentioned over minus 0.43 degrees centigrade. Melting is carried. In order to melt, that should be on a solid one, right? So solid form is available beyond that 0 degrees centigrade. That's why melting is carried. Being it is a liquid at the natural temperature, its melting will be a negative sign, negative convention. You can notice minus 0.43 degrees centigrade, it will transform from the solid to liquid form, right? So this is the way a brief description is mentioned for hydrogen peroxide. Let's go with the general reaction. In what way it able to work like a oxidizing agent. Hydrogen peroxide acts as a source of oxygen, often converting the substance into its oxidized form, right? So it is the source. So it is rich in the oxygen content. In what way it is having oxygen in the higher extent? Because wherever oxygen directly linkage with a single bond is highly unstable, always it tends to cleave the bond, and there is a tendency, natural tendency to release that oxygen over there. It's a reason why 2 moles of hydrogen peroxide upon reacting, upon melting, or else upon rising temperature, immediately that will be transformed into water in addition to the formation of that oxygen. During this process, oxygen initially, always, wherever oxygen will be there, that oxygen will be -2 in general. But whenever oxygen is in the peroxy bond stands for any two oxygens are directly bounded. At that condition, at that instance, two oxygens are accompanied by -1 charge only. Let me repeat, oxygen in the peroxy bond always accompanied by -1, negatively charged, right? So that able to accept one more electron, so that in a water molecule oxide will be generated, that is in -2 oxidation form. And molecular oxygen, whatever generated, obviously molecular oxygen is accompanied by 0 oxidation state around that. This is the way hydrogen peroxide having natural tendency to liberate oxygen, because oxygen 2 are adjacent in nature. Both are having lone pair of electrons. Lone pair repulsions are most prone among the two oxygens which are side by side, so that bond cleavage is most convenient, so that we can say hydrogen peroxide is oxygen rich substance, so that it is working like a better oxidizing agent. It will be able to release oxygen in a convenient form. Now let's see the key features of this hydrogen peroxide. It is a kind of green oxidant. Why we are saying green oxidant? There is ultimate product water. Water may not cause any harmful impact to the environment, so that it is environmentally benign in nature. So it is a kind of green oxidant. Versatility. Suitability for oxidizing a wide range of compounds. It is not restricted or limited to only one kind of reaction. Rather, you can apply this hydrogen peroxide in the multiple reactions in order to make oxidation process in the convenient manner. That's why versatility will be there. It is applied in the wide range of oxidation process. That is called a versatility. And catalysis, often used with the catalyst, transition acids can be used to improve the reaction efficiency. Hydrogen peroxide can't be used itself, rather it can be blended with any catalyst, especially transition metal catalysts are applied in order to achieve the reaction in the economic form, that is in the higher yield generation requirement is achieved by the blending the reaction with the catalyst. Now we will see versatility. Here is the term we mentioned called versatility. In order to define this versatility, wide range of reaction plethora for this hydrogen peroxide, we will go for the examples pertaining hydrogen peroxide acting like a oxidizing agent. Let me show lead sulfide. Lead sulfide is added with the hydrogen peroxide, so that wherever sulfur is there, that is added with the oxygen atom. So ultimately turned into oxidized form, that is lead sulfate. So sulfur is added with these many oxygen atoms by the addition of hydrogen peroxide. That's why we can say it is simply oxidation of lead sulfide into lead sulfate form, right? Sulfide turned into sulfate form, that is a kind of oxidation. Or being oxygens added, it is simply said to be a oxidation process. Now let me show in either example. Again, we are taking a sulfur containing compound, where that sulfur containing compound is a ether form, thioether form we can say, and hydrogen peroxide is added in the dissolving in a glacial acetic acid solvent. Wherever this thiofunctional group is there, that will be added with the oxygen atom. Being hydrogen peroxide is the oxygen rich substance, it will add the oxygen over there, so that H double bond O is generated, which is said to be a sulfone. Thioether turned into sulfone by means of oxidation in the presence of hydrogen peroxide. This is the way we can give the examples, and here you can notice much more applications are accompanied by the hydrogen peroxide as the important oxidizing agent. Whenever chlorine upon addition with the hydrogen peroxide, this able to release the oxygen. Oxygen will be liberated over there. Oxygen molecule will be released, and there is a origination of H plus and Cl minus. Whatever oxygen released, it is the most essential. This will improve the quality of water. This kind of chlorination in addition to hydrogen peroxide is required. This point this find the general application in the water purification process, wherever oxygen released into the water, and this whatever H plus Cl minus are there, they are working like a disinfectant. Whenever HOCl is there, hypochlorous acid, we can say, upon reacting with hydrogen peroxide, again there is a liberation of oxygen molecule, H plus Cl minus, and water will be generated. So OCl minus, this HOCl can be represented in the ionic form as well. OCl minus is nothing but chlorous hypochlorous acid. In that hypochlorous anion will be there, can be treated with hydrogen peroxide, giving rise to oxygen and chloride, and in either water molecule is originated. These are the reactions pertaining with water, hydrogen peroxide. Wherever chlorine is there, that chlorine turned into a chloride one. And wherever hydrogen peroxide is there, that able to release the oxygen molecule. And the leftover hydrogens will be turned into positive ions. This is the way few applications are mentioned. Let me go with the discussion regarding oxidation involving hydrogen peroxide. You may take this is called what? Hydroquinone. Hydroquinone stands for H2Q. Hydroquinone, where benzenoid nucleus is there upon first and fourth position are accompanied by the hydroxyl functional groups. Upon reacting with the hydrogen peroxide, this will be turned into a double bond O, double bond O. This is called a quinonoid form. Q stands for quinonoid form, where hydrogens got removed. So whenever hydroquinone turned into a quinone, this is the reaction is a kind of oxidation. In what way we can say it is the oxidation? In terms of removal of hydrogen atoms. In this manner also hydrogen peroxide acting like a oxidizing agent, right? So now let me go with the hydrogen peroxide. It is the kind of reagent which can use to expand the ring size. Initially, the compound taken is the 5-membered, where you can notice the ketonic functional group. And after the entire reaction, the obtained product is in the 6-member ring structure with the C double bond O. This is a kind of cyclic ester, which is called lactone. Cyclic esters are called lactones, and this cyclic lactone is achieved by the oxidation of hydrogen peroxide, and this is the kind of Baeyer-Welligal oxidation. Wherever ketonic functional group is there, initially added with the acidic medium, where H plus ion is able to abstracted by this oxygen, being electrons present on this oxygen, which able to abstract this H plus. Whenever H plus was taken, there is origination of a positive, so that positive charge will be generated over that now treated with hydrogen peroxide. Whenever hydrogen peroxide is added, these pi electrons are moving towards oxygen, and here is the generation of electron deficiency. The deficiency now treated with this O minus, so that there is a formation of peroxy bond with this carbon. Peroxy bond is originated with this carbon atom. But we know that peroxy bond is not that stable, so that we are supposed to remove water molecule upon reacting with the H plus. Whenever one more H plus is added, it able to remove this water molecule from this terminal center, so that oxygen whatever present able to absorbed inside the ring. So there is a origination of oxygen inside the ring system, so that ring enlargement is possible. This is called expansion of the ring. Whenever ring expanded, again ultimately H plus will be removed, being acid is a catalyst, can't be absorbed, can't be involved in the reaction permanently, so that again eventually H plus removal giving rise to a cyclic ester, which is called a lactone ring. And any other reaction is mentioned for our better understanding. Wherever aldehydic moiety is there, aldehyde was taken as the starting material. That aldehyde will be treated with hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is accompanied by the lone pair of electrons in this manner. Two oxygens side by side are having two lone pair of electrons each. And these electron-rich oxygen atoms are able to bond with the carbon. Carbon is having electrophilic nature, being pi bond is having natural tendency to delocalize towards the oxygen. Oxygen is more electronegative, so that electron density drag towards oxygen, and electrophilic nature achieved by the carbon, so that electron pair is able to accepted by the carbon atom over there. You can notice the bond formation with this peroxy with the carbon atom, and during the bond formation, electrons lost by the oxygen indicated by the positive sign, and delocalized electrons are retained by the oxygen of this carbonylic oxygen, so that you can observe three lone pair of electrons, and which is indicated by a negative convention. So this is the way peroxy carbon bond formation is possible. But this peroxy carbon bond, whatever formed oxygen adjacent is not that stable. Immediately what it will do will shift the proton towards the oxygen, so that there is a formation of hydroxyl, and oxygen bond cleavage we can notice, so that bond cleavage at this point giving rise to removal of hydroxyl in addition to this alpha hydrogen upon the carbon. Whenever hydrogen removed from this carbon atom, here again we have a bonded electron. These bonded electrons are moving here. Whenever bonded electrons are moving, there is an origination of carbon oxygen double bond. So you can observe carbon oxygen double bond in between, and this hydroxyl already existed. Carbon oxygen double bond is oriented over there. Hydroxyl bond existing already can be mentioned. Ultimately, we are supposed to remove OH minus and H plus, that is called water. Water will be a product. Water will be the byproduct of hydrogen peroxide oxidation. And being it is a carboxylic acid, there is a quasi-resonance. Quasi-resonance means for what? Equimolar ratio of existence. This pi bond either existing in between carbon oxygen or else in between these carbon oxygen. Both are identical in nature. So this is the way both the forms are represented. And this is the way a kind of aldehyde turned into a carboxylic acid is possible in the presence of hydrogen peroxide. Let me go with another examples pertaining with the hydrogen peroxide as an oxidizing agent. This is a bulky molecule, and we can say it is a polyannular system where Rm is there, PPH2 is there, phenyl phosphate units are there, and amide units are also present. It is the kind of bulky molecule in organic chemistry, playing a role here. Whenever hydrogen peroxide is added, ultimately there is a cleavage of bond in between Rm and phosphorus. Whenever bond cleavage, you can notice one side this Rm chloride will be generated, in either end wherever phosphorus cleavage is observed, that is added with the oxygen. Being hydrogen peroxide is oxygen rich, able to release the oxygen, giving rise to a phosphine. Phosphorus oxygen double bond is located over there. And if you are taking hydrogen peroxide in the excessive quantity in the sense bulk quantity is added, so that in both the sides oxidative cleavage is noticed, and that turned into a diphenylphosphine, both the ends, so that oxidative cleavage in the excessive amount of hydrogen peroxide giving rise to a two phosphine moiety symmetrical molecule formation is possible, and Rm chloride will be the byproduct over there. This is the way we can find the application for hydrogen peroxide. And this is another molecule you can clearly observe where is already it is added with the what BH3, that is called boron hydride. Hydrates of the boron were added. So here borohydride olefinic compound was taken. Now it is added with what? Hydrogen peroxide. That hydrogen peroxide is not selective for the double bond here. Rather, it will go for the addition at this BH2. BH2 is a boron dihydride. BH2 is a better leaving group in comparison to the olefinic double bond. There is a compatibility factor. So in general, if here also hydrogen is there, obviously we will go for epoxidation. There is a possibility of epoxidation. Rather, here the carbon resided with BH2, that is boron hydride, so that there is a compatibility with this double bond. In comparison to the double bond, BH2 is a more reactive. That's the reason why hydrogen peroxide will selectively go for the replacement of this BH2 with OH, giving rise to a product of olefinic hydroxide rather than epoxide. This is another typical application of this hydrogen peroxide we can observe. And another simpler example what we are discussing for olefinic double bonds upon reacting with hydrogen peroxide. Obviously, there is a formation of cyclic ether. Oxygen will be added at the two ends, that is called a cyclic ether called epoxide. This is the natural tendency. This is the exceptional condition we can observe. And here are multiple applications pertaining with the hydrogen peroxide as the oxidizing agent are mentioned. We will go for the individual description. Hydrogen peroxide can be treated with lead sulfide. Whenever sulfide is treated, there is a higher oxidation state for the compound, giving rise to lead sulfate. More number of oxygens are added, and this is said to be what? Oxidation process, giving a water as a byproduct. Whenever hydrogen peroxide is added with potassium iodide can be treated. Potassium iodide can be treated giving rise to iodine. I minus turned into zero form. Oxidation is carried obviously, and ultimately this hydrogen peroxide turned into a water. So we are not supposed to mention any other byproduct. This is not the stoichiometric ratio, rather representation. What way reaction will be oxidized, that was taken into the consideration. Iodide turned into iodine, and this hydrogen peroxide converted into water. Whenever chromium and under alkaline conditions upon reacting with hydrogen peroxide, there is a provision to go for the higher oxidation uh, process, and the CrO4 minus 2 will be generated in addition to the water as the product. So this is the way chromium plus 3 now turned into what condition? Here oxygen 4 times we have, each oxygen resided with minus 2, so that we can say minus 8 and compensated by 2 charges, so that chromium is in plus 6. Plus 3 turned into a plus 6 form, so that it is the kind of oxidation. Increase in the oxidation number is clear over here. That's the reason why it is the oxidation in addition to the water as a byproduct. And here we have a dichromate ion. So dichromate anion is there and treated with the acidic condition. Here is the alkaline condition you noticed. Here is the acidic condition we are going to add. Whenever hydrogen peroxide is treated with potassium dichromate under acidified conditions, there is a possibility of Cr plus 3 oxygen and water will be generated. There is a molecular oxygen origination over here. This is the reaction said to be a reduction. We are not supposed to say oxidation, being K2Cr2O7, where we have plus 6 now turned into a plus 3. With respect to chromium, it is the reduction process. H2O2 upon reacting with CaMN4 under H plus conditions, where we have plus 7 now turned into plus 2. So plus 7 to plus 2, decrease in the oxidation number, it is also the kind where reduction of metal is possible. We are not oxidizing these two reactions exceptionally. One is potassium dichromate is reduced. One is potassium paramanganate is also reduced. This is a process called reduction, right? Now let me go with the manganese dioxide. Manganese dioxide, where we have Mn plus 4. Whenever Mn plus 4 was there upon reacting with hydrogen peroxide, that formation of Mn plus 2. Plus 4 converted into plus 2. What happened? Again, oxidation number got reduced. Reduction in the oxidation number, again, it is the part of what? Reduction only. So all three reactions, what are their downward direction, are the part of reduction only. They are not supposed to comes under oxidation category. Then let's go with another. Let me check whether it is oxidation or reduction. Silver oxide. This is the reaction with the hydrogen peroxide giving rise to silver, oxygen, and water. Oxygen is liberated. Simply we can observe within the reaction wherever oxygen is liberated are the part of reductions only. Oxygen consumed, oxidation. Oxygen released, reduction. Right. Let me check oxidation number first. Later we can conclude whether it is oxidation or reduction. Right. Silver oxide, where each silver is resided with the plus 1 argentinum. Plus 1 oxidation number, monovalent in nature. And here silver plus 1 turned into 0. Plus 1 to 0, obviously it is the decrease in the oxidation number, so that we can observe this argentometry is the part of reduction only. So by this, what we are observing that hydrogen peroxide is having dual nature, not only the process of oxidation, but also the process of reduction. Both the reactions are feasible by treating with this hydrogen peroxide. That depends upon the reaction conditions, surrounding reaction conditions to be taken into the consideration. Hydrogen peroxide working like an oxidizing agent, and in some cases, it acts as a reducing agent as well. Duality is noticed over there. Let me go with the last reaction. We have to find out whether it is oxidation or reduction. Whenever ferrous means Fe plus 2. Ferrous is treated with hydrogen peroxide. Ultimately, ferric will be generated. Whenever ferrous turned into ferric and the release of water is possible, plus 2 is converted into a plus 3 form. Plus 2 to plus 3 is the increase in the oxidation number. Whenever oxidation number got increased, that is called what? Oxidation process. Here is the assignment for the session. Those who are curious about this oxidation process or oxidizing agents, from this reaction, you have to segregate which reaction is oxidation, which reaction is reduction, and justification for that kind of statement what we are mentioning for this slide. This is assignment I'm going to give for you. Those who are watching, those who are curious about this chemistry, you can go for the segregation, and that can be posted in the comment box. Now, decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. So hydrogen peroxide can be decomposed. So already we mentioned that hydrogen peroxide is oxygen rich in nature. It can be justified. It can be conformed by the reaction with the platinum. Whenever platinum is added to this hydrogen peroxide and is supposed to be heated or rising the temperature of that container, that able to give water as the product, and in addition there is a release of oxygen. So this is a half mole of oxygen will be generated. That is one oxygen only left over there, right? So that half mole of oxygen will be liberated from that boiled hydrogen peroxide. The temperature can be mentioned with the thermometer continuously. And here is the pot which is accompanied by hydrogen peroxide and the platinum catalyst in order to facilitate the release of oxygen over there. This is the way you can mention, you can observe that this hydrogen peroxide is oxygen rich in nature, right? So this is the one you clearly observe. And we have few examples pertaining with this hydrogen peroxide applications. Again, you can clearly observe triangular system is there, tricyclic ring system, where the thioether is the moiety. You can treat with the hydrogen peroxide in addition to the transition metal catalyst. So this hydrogen peroxide is able to generate double bond O, double bond O. The sulfur can be turned into higher oxidized form. Double bond O, double bond O, both are possible. Why both are possible? Because being it is the kind of benzenoid ring system, it is not the it is not the flipped molecule. We are not supposed to move the molecule. That twisting may not be possible. Rather, it is a rigid molecule, being it is aromatic in nature. That's the reason why, though you're adding two oxygens on the sulfur, it may not create any sterical hindrance over there. That's the reason why upon this molecule, it is possible to allocate two oxygens with the double bonds. So that S double bond O is possible by reacting this thioether molecule with the hydrogen peroxide, and ultimately there is a release of water as a byproduct, environmental friendly manner. And another reaction is also given for our application point of view. Sorry. Here Cl2O7, higher oxidation state of chlorine, you can notice over there. Let me count chlorine oxidation number. 7 oxygens are there. Each oxygen contribute -2. 7 multiplied with 2, -14 will be there. -14 to be distributed among two chlorines, because we have two chlorines as the exponential value. So here 14 by 2, 7. So in order to counterbalance -14, here +14 should be there. That +14 to be distributed among two chlorines, so that +7 is oxidation state of the chlorine. It is the highest oxidation state for this chlorine. Chlorine able to exist in positive, negative, and even zero oxidation states. Various oxidation states are possible for non-metals in general. Especially for halogens, variable number of oxidation states are possible, that able to exist in +7 oxidation state in Cl2O7. Upon reacting with hydrogen peroxide, there is a provision to generate ClO2 minus and O2 and H plus will be there. Let me count oxidation state of this. O2 will be there. O2 stands for water, 2 oxygens. Each oxygen contribute -2. -2 multiplied with 2, -4 will be there. Among -4 here, one of the negative charge compensate one charge, so that only -3 will be there. around oxygen. In order to counterbalance the charge, in order to neutralize the charge, chlorine can be accompanied by +3. So +7 turned into +3. Again, it is the kind. +7 to +3. What kind of nature? +7, a higher oxidation state. +3 is the lower oxidation state. It is the part of reduction. In simple manner, you can clearly observe oxygen liberated. Liberation of oxygen said to be a reduction. It is not the part of oxidation reaction for hydrogen peroxide. So by this manner, we have to be very careful regarding hydrogen peroxide, whether it is oxidizing the reaction or reducing the reaction. So here is the process carried is a reduction. Now let's go with another term that is related. In some cases, you can listen one kind of sentence. 20 volumes of hydrogen peroxide will be there. 20 volumes of hydrogen peroxide means what? That I would like to explain. 20 volumes of hydrogen peroxide stands for 20 volumes of hydrogen peroxide is equivalent to 6.07 percentage of weight by volume or 1.786 mole per liter of hydrogen peroxide. How can we say? These equivalents are obtained by knowing 20 volumes means 1 liter of hydrogen peroxide. 20 volumes is nothing but 1 liter of hydrogen peroxide that liberates 20 liters of oxygen. So 20 volumes of hydrogen peroxide generates 20 liters of oxygen, being it is an oxygen-rich substance. By the decomposition under the normal conditions. Normal condition stands for 1 atmospheric pressure to be maintained, 0 degree centigrade to be maintained, 1 mole of oxygen to be maintained. When we are maintaining all these normal conditions, 1 liter of hydrogen peroxide generating 20 liters of oxygen, so that it is called 20 volumes of hydrogen peroxide. Complete reaction, complete step-by-step explanation is provided for the better understanding. H2O2 giving rise to H2O and half of O2 will be generated. When we say 20 volumes of hydrogen peroxide, we are talking about the volume strength of hydrogen peroxide. Volume strength is stressed over. Volume strength represent total volume of the oxygen that would be liberated or obtained STP from the decomposition of 1 ml of H2O2 solution. Right? So here volume strength is nothing but volume of the oxygen which is liberated by means of 1 ml of hydrogen peroxide solution. That will be decomposed giving oxygen as the product. So that is said to be volume strength. So when we say that volume strength of hydrogen peroxide is V, it means that 1 ml of solution liberate V ml of oxygen at a standard temperature and pressure condition. STP stands for standard temperature and pressure condition. Here, 20 volumes of H2O2 means 20 ml of oxygen will be liberated from 1 ml solution at standard conditions. Standard conditions are 1 mole of oxygen, 1 atmosphere pressure is applied and 0 degree temperature will be applied. So this is the detailed explanation regarding 20 volumes of hydrogen peroxide. Now we entered into another segment called let's find out the applications pertaining with the hydrogen peroxide. Applications in the organic chemistry. Alkenes react with hydrogen peroxide to form epoxides. This is the common reaction with the olefinic double bonds. Wherever double bond is there, upon reacting with hydrogen peroxide, that able to give a epoxide type of bond. This is the kind of important application with this hydrogen peroxide, being it is oxygen rich. That oxygen able to reacted with the olefinic bond. One end you can notice the nucleophilic nature, another end you can notice the electrophilic nature. Both ends are able to combine with oxygen, giving epoxide linkage. Generally, titanium complexes or tungsten complexes are used as a catalyst in order to facilitate this reaction in the fastest manner. So, olefinic bond can be treated with the hydrogen peroxide giving rise to RCHO-CH2. This O stands for what? Epoxy linkage. If you observe double bond O, so whenever hydrogen peroxide is treated, there is a provision for this kind of epoxide. Upon hydrolysis, this will be treated further, that giving rise to a hydroxyl compound. Epoxide ultimately giving rise to hydroxides. Here is another double bond you can observe. That double bond is treated with hydrogen peroxide. Initially it turned into a epoxide. Later on there is a formation of hydroxide. Ultimately, after the that means a continuation. We are not supposed to End of the reaction at epoxide. Later, we can go for further hydrolysis, giving rise to hydroxyl group over there. This is the way a reaction with hydrogen peroxide, always alkenes gives rise to a ether compounds. Hydroxylation. Hydroxylation stands for wherever carbon-carbon double bond is there, it able to react with the hydrogen peroxide, two carbon atoms. Sorry. So wherever double bond is there, whenever we are treating hydrogen peroxide, in addition to the osmium tetroxide, here is the condition we clearly mentioned. Osmium tetroxide is the additive over there. At that instance, at that condition, this olefinic double bond, both the sides hydroxylation is possible. We will achieve vicinal hydroxyl compound. Two hydroxyl on the 1,2 position, 1,2 dihydroxy compound will be generated. This is said to be syn hydroxylation. Syn hydroxylation stands for if two hydroxy functional groups laying on the same side of the double bond, that is called a syn hydroxylation. Even in the cyclic compound, in this cyclopentane compound, you can go for this osmium tetroxide and in addition hydrogen peroxide, so that there is a origination of hydroxyl on the side by side carbon atoms, both are laying on the same side, so that syn hydroxylation is possible. So there is a slight difference. Here is the alkene. You can notice upon reacting with the hydrogen peroxide, either in the presence of titanium or tungsten, there is a possibility for epoxide and ultimately monohydroxy. But osmium tetroxide is the condition, dihydroxy will be generated. This is the difference between monohydroxy and dihydroxy product formation with the hydrogen peroxide. Now we entered into another reaction. This is said to be a named reaction where you can take a long chain ketone. Long chain ketone was taken and treated with oxidizing agent hydrogen peroxide. This hydrogen peroxide can be treated in the presence of BF3, boron trifluoride. Ether is the solvent. BF3 is the catalyst. Ether is the solvent we applied, so that oxygen-rich hydrogen peroxide able to release the oxygen in between the carbon and carbon, that giving rise to a ester form. Ester form will be achieved. This ester formation starting from ketone by reacting with hydrogen peroxide is the part of Baeyer-Wellegel oxidation. Wherever ketone is there, hydrogen peroxide is added, that giving rise to one of the oxygen to this molecule. Oxygen rich ester will be generated, that is called Baeyer-Wellegel oxidation. For our better understanding, we are taking cyclohexanone. Upon reacting with a acid catalyst, protonation on the oxygen is carried. Later on, hydrogen peroxide will be added, that will be added at the carbon, giving rise to peroxide over the carbon atom, and that further rearranged within the molecule, giving rise to us oxygen incorporation within the cyclic ring system. Later on, H plus will be evolved outside and giving rise to a cyclic ester called lactone. This is Baeyer-Wellegel oxidation. Initially, 5-membered ring expanded into a 6-membered one, and initially it is a ketonic and later on converted into ester form. It is the kind of oxidation. And this is sulfoxidation. Sulfoxidation stands for wherever sulfurs are present, they turn into sulfones. Sulfones formations are possible by treating with hydrogen peroxide. If you observe the sulfur compound, which is having a side chain like diazole, and here also diazole is there, this is reacted with either 3 equivalent or 1 equivalent. 3 equivalents when added, there is a provision to give diketonic form. 1 equivalent, that means insufficient amount of hydrogen peroxide giving rise to monoketonic form, that is a sulfone. Sulfone origination is possible, disulfone origination upon excessive addition of hydrogen peroxide. And the same manner, in either S double bond already, S was taken, one equivalent of hydrogen peroxide, if added under acidified conditions, that is the provision to get S double bond O and S double bond O double bond O. There is a possibility for the mixture of products, but the main compound will be, major compound will be compound S double bond O only, being it is the sufficient. That means limited quantity of hydrogen peroxide, the maximum extent possibility for S double bond O only. This is sulfoxidation. Upon sulfur oxidation carried. Now we entered into another application part, that is applications in the inorganic chemistry. Up to this, we gone through the organic chemistry application pattern. Now we entered into inorganic chemistry applications, oxidation of transition metals. Whenever we are taking manganese, so transition metals are nothing but they are resided in the D block elements only, which are having insufficient, that means incomplete D shell filling if present, those are called transition metals. Why they are calling transition metals? They are carrying the properties from the metals to non-metals. In between, they are working like a transition. So metals purely laying on the in the periodic table, in the left hand side metals are there, in the right hand side non-metals are there. In between, D block elements are present. They are able to work like a bridge in between metals and non-metals, and they are transiting the properties. That's why they are called transition metals, right? D block elements in general, incomplete D block elements, D block metals are said to be transition metals. You may take the examples, Mn plus 2, manganese plus 2 will be there, iron plus 2 will be there for us, right? So whenever manganese plus 2 upon reacting with hydrogen peroxide, this will be added with oxygen, giving rise to manganese dioxide. Oxygen will be added, oxidation reaction only. So here hydrogen peroxide is having dual nature, right? Oxidation reduction. But here you noticed addition of oxygen only, so that we can observe oxidation property. Whenever iron was taken, iron will be transformed into ferric. In what reaction? Reaction with hydrogen peroxide only. Balanced equation is provided for better understanding. 2Fe plus 2 are able to react with one equivalent of hydrogen peroxide. Aqueous solution and aquated H plus, that means acid solution was treated with this ferrous. Ferrous now oxidized into ferric form, aqueous ferric solution will be generated. In addition, hydrogen peroxide will be transformed into a water molecule. Water is the byproduct. This is the way ferrous to ferric oxidation is possible. Transition metals will be oxidized by means of this hydrogen peroxide. Wherever chromium plus 3 is there, that will be transformed into chromium plus 6. This is also kind of oxidation. Aluminium 0 is there, aluminium plus 3 is possible. Cerium plus 3 is there, cerium plus 3 plus is possible, that is kind of oxidation. Copper plus 2 is there, copper plus 1, there is a formation. So by means of copper plus 2, copper plus 1 is called reduction, and upon treating with H2O2, copper plus 1 is turned into copper plus 2, this is called oxidation. Manganese, here we have a plus 2 and that turned into plus 4, so that manganese oxidation carried. Cobalt plus 2 turned into cobalt plus 3. So this is the way hydrogen peroxide having sufficient oxidizing property for these transition metals. So many examples are given for your better understanding. And this is the most important application purview regarding this hydrogen peroxide. Detoxification, we can say. Wherever cyanides are present, cyanides are highly harmful, highly toxic. Nobody are able to consume or even work or handle with these cyanides direct form. So that there should be a detoxification. Alternative detoxification is required. Cyanide to be treated with this hydrogen peroxide that able to convert into OCN minus. OCN minus is called oxycyanate. So oxycyanate will be generated. That oxycyanate is not that extent toxic and it is detoxified. So this is the detoxified compound of cyanide. So that it is the kind of detoxification where oxycyanate will be originated. So whenever cyanide was taken and it is treated with hydrogen peroxide, that is giving rise to CNO minus. CnO minus is oxygenated cyanide, which is the non-toxic in nature. Soluble copper catalyst increase the rate of the reaction. Catalyst can be copper present in the solution, or copper sulfate will be added so that the reaction will be in the faster manner. This is the way detoxification of cyanides can be possible application point of view. Conditions and catalyst, right? So transition metals are working like a catalyst, like iron, titanium, molybdenum and tungsten. Whatever oxidation reactions are there, which are included with hydrogen peroxide, those reactions will be enhanced. Those reactions will be fastened whenever we are adding transition metal as the catalyst. What transition metals? You may go with molybdenum, you may go with iron, you may go with titanium, you may go with tungsten. All these are the transition metals only. They are used to enhance the oxidation property of hydrogen peroxide. Organic acids can be taken. Formic acid is the example over there. Formic acid is used to facilitate this paracid formation, so that catalyst can be applied. In order to achieve the reaction in the faster manner with the high yield of the oxidation product, the optimum pH required will be either acidic conditions are most preferable. Neutral is also okay. Basic conditions highest, that means strong basic conditions are not at all preferable. Rather, mild basic is also required condition for this kind of oxidation process, and the temperature must be a moderate one. Lower temperature is the most important in order to carry these oxidation reactions. Advantages. Why we have to use hydrogen peroxide as the oxidizing agent, though we have a list of lot many number of oxidizing agent. Why we have to choose this one? Because environmentally benign. Hydrogen peroxide, whenever added, that is giving rise to a product which is water only. In green chemistry point of view, in green approach pathway, it is highly environmentally benign approach, we can say, and high atom economy. Atom economy stands for what? Whenever substrate A, substrate B are bounded up, giving rise to a substrate C. At that instant, we are not supposed to lose any kind of byproduct. There is no kind of unreacted starting material. There is no either unwanted side reaction over there. So whatever reactants are mixed up, 100% they are converted into a product to form. So that yield is expected what we are treating. In the stoichiometric ratio only product formation is possible, and that is nearby 100% of yield we can notice. That is called atom economy. We are reacting the reactants in the strategic pathway, so that product is expected one only, and the yield is extremely larger, which is called atom economy. And avoidance of toxic byproducts. Toxic byproducts will be completely avoided. Being water is a byproduct over there, it is most suitable method for this reaction. And in order to clean the environment, benign by design approach is required in order to choose this hydrogen peroxide as the better oxidizing agent. This is the most important requirement over there. Named reactions pertaining with this hydrogen peroxide. What named reactions are involving this hydrogen peroxide? Hydrogen peroxide is the open book model molecule, which is a bent molecule. One of the hydrogen is in the is up head direction, another hydrogen in the down head direction. You can clearly observe. And in between two oxygens, there is a 145.8 picometers distance is covered. This is the way a clear description is mentioned. Let's see named reactions which is incorporated by hydrogen peroxide. Already we discussed in detail about the Baeyer-Wellegel oxidation with this hydrogen peroxide. Wherever ketone is there, that is incorporated with one of the oxygen in between that ketonic carbon and another carbon. Wherever the complexity is more, wherever the chain length is more, wherever the branch head is more, that direction only oxygen preferably able to inserted. This is a kind of insertion reaction we can say. So both the alpha positions are there, both are compatible in nature. Both are competing in order to react with this hydrogen peroxide. But specifically, hydrogen peroxide is able to insert the oxygen wherever hinderness will be more. That direction only the preferable dimension in order to get the major product in the Baeyer-Walligal oxidation. Let's go with the another named reaction called Daychem reaction. Daychem reaction is carried with the aldehyde. Wherever aldehyde will be there, that can be treated with hydrogen peroxide. Whenever this aldehyde compound is treated with the hydrogen peroxide under alkaline conditions and subsequent hydrolysis carried, ultimate replacement of aldehyde with the hydroxyl is possible. Whenever starting material taken is salicylaldehyde, the formed product is catechol, that is ortho-hydroxyphenol, we can say, which is called a catechol. This is the way hydrogen peroxide is able to transform aldehyde into a hydroxyl compound, so that Daychem reaction is the most suitable synthetic approach for converting aldehyde into alcohol. This is 3D chemistry approach. You clearly observe the example pertaining Daychem reaction. And oxidative cleavage of the glycol. Glycol stands for whenever hydroxyl and the adjacent carbon atom, that is called a vicinal diol, 1,2-diol. That is called a glycol. Glycols are highly strained. So a hydroxy adjacent, always there will be a fighting among those two. That can be treated with hydrogen peroxide conveniently. Instead of ketone formation, instead of a further oxidation, there is a kind of a cleavage among the carbon, being it is a kind of highly sterically hindered positioning of hydroxyl and the adjacent position, because oxygens are bulky in nature in comparison to hydrogen. That is the one reason. And second is each oxygen accompanied by four electrons around that, so that still increase the bulkiness. Not only that, electron repulsions are most enhanced whenever two oxygens are in the adjacent carbon atom, so that it able to cleave among carbons in the presence of hydrogen peroxide, giving their corresponding what short length ketones, short length carbonyl compounds will be generated. This is called oxidative cleavage of 1,2-diols. So wherever oxygen will be added, wherever oxidizing, here the hydrogen peroxide is not at all giving any oxygens to the molecule, rather this able to cleave the molecule and removing hydrogens from that, right? Removing hydrogens is also the kind of oxidation. This is the way oxidative cleavage is accompanied by this hydrogen peroxide. This is carried especially in glycols. Next example is Walker's process. Palladium chloride and copper salts are required where olefinic double bond is there. That olefinic double bond upon reacting with hydrogen peroxide, that will be converted into ketonic compound. Ketone will be achieved. So this palladium platinum compounds are square planar in nature in general, and the expected product will be sorry, carbonyl compound only. Carbonyl compound will be achieved whenever you are starting with the molecule of I'm taking ethene as a starting material. After the entire cycle of this Walker's process, that will be converted into CH3CHO. That is called what? Acetaldehyde, right? Among two double bonded carbon atoms, one of the carbon added with hydrogens, another carbon added with oxygen. Ultimately, there is a provision to generate the carbonylic compound over there. The reaction totally facilitated by means of palladium catalyst, and we are achieving that aldehyde or ketone, right? If you are taking this ethene, there is a provision to achieve the aldehyde. If you are taking higher alkenes, higher olefins, so that there is a provision to achieve that ketones. This is called what? Walker's process. Sharpless epoxidation. Sharpless epoxidation generally carried by tertiary butoxy hydrogen peroxide is required, but there is a provision to replace that tertiary butyl peroxide with the hydrogen peroxide, so that wherever double bond is there, that can be transformed into a epoxide form. Epoxy alcohol will be generated. Sharpless epoxidation. This point the wide range of applications in the organic chemistry in order to generate the epoxides, right? So generally, we are not using hydrogen peroxide always. Rather, we can go for the higher peroxides. Tertiary butyl peroxide can be applied, but instead we can go for this hydrogen peroxide for better yield of epoxy alcohol. And Mila's hydroxylation is another condition where olefinic bond can be treated with the hydrogen peroxide, giving rise to a vicinal hydroxyl. This is the kind of hydroxylation is carried. Wherever double bond is there, that double bond initially turned into a epoxide. That epoxide further subjected to hydroxylation. Whenever epoxide is hydroxylated, there is a ultimate geometry, ultimate stereochemistry operated will be a transform. Trans hydroxy. Earlier we discussed about there is a cis hydroxylation where the osmium tetroxide. Whenever osmium tetroxide and hydrogen peroxide are treated together, there is a provision for cis hydroxylation, but in case of epoxide hydroxylation giving rise to a transform. And we have a epoxidation of alkenes. Wherever alkenes are there, hydrogen peroxide is treated. There is a provision to react in the cyclic manner. Transition state will be originated. Eventual hydrolysis giving rise to epoxide forms. And this is the way epoxide formation is possible by means of Pre-Lezhave reaction. So let me repeat. Pre-Lezhave reaction. So where we are supposed to react olefin with the hydrogen peroxide, that able to give epoxide as the product. Oxidation of thiols. Whenever thiol was taken, thiol stands for SH if present. Instead of oxygen, we have SH. OH is there, hydroxyl. SH is there, thioxy. So this is called thiol. Thiol can be treated with hydrogen peroxide. There is a provision for the dimerization. This is the reaction called dimerization. Two equivalents are required initially. Whenever two equivalents were taken, both are able to bind it at the sulfur, so that there is a sulfur-sulfur. Thio linkage is obtained, that is called disulfide. Disulfide is ultimate product in order to go for the oxidation. But in what context you are saying oxidation? We are not adding any oxygens with this hydrogen peroxide, right? Oxidation stands for we are supposed to remove the hydrogen from the sulfur. Rather, we are going to give the new bondage between the sulfur and sulfur. In this removal of hydrogen context, the reaction is a kind of oxidation. And we entered into another important application in the graduation and post-graduation in organic laboratories, most commonly applied in the qualitative analysis of salt analysis. You can observe the Fenton's reagent, where ferrous ions can be treated with hydrogen peroxide. Ultimately, ferrous turned into a ferric, and there is a origination of hydroxyl radical will be there. So ferric further treated with hydrogen peroxide, and there is a formation of ferrous, and that hydroperoxyl radicals will be originated. So hydrogen peroxide giving rise to hydroxyl radicals, and this hydroperoxyl radicals will be originated. And ultimately, ferrous will be converted into a kind of ferric one. This is the kind of oxidation with this hydrogen peroxide. So this is the way ferrous will be transformed into ferric form. And Wade's Scavo epoxidation. Oxidation of alkenes into epoxides using hydrogen peroxide and alkaline conditions are required. Alkaline means a basic medium is the requirement. Basic catalytic reagent is required over wherever double bond is there. That double bond will be epoxy converted into epoxide form. This is the way epoxide formation is possible. You can clearly observe. Here is the double bond. Here is the double bond, right? We are not supposed to react, or we are not supposed to disturb this ketonic functional group. Rather, we are very specific for this double bond only. This is the reaction called Wade's Scavo epoxidation. In this Wade's Scavo epoxidation, hydrogen peroxide will be treated. Whenever hydrogen peroxide will be treated, there is a formation of water where one nascent oxygen can be bonded at this olefinic double bond, that giving rise to oxygen over there, which is called an epoxy bond. This is the way epoxy bond formation is possible in Wade's Scavo epoxidation process. This is another named reaction you can notice. Apart from the topic chosen, oxidations and reductions, there are certain Applications are also there in the medical field for this hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is especially used wherever the people or the person is injured in order to clean that wound. Being it is a disinfectant, it used to induce the antiseptic properties. That's the reason why hydrogen peroxide is used to cleanse the wounds. And even for dressing purpose also we can use this hydrogen peroxide and remove the organic stains wherever organic stains are there. In order to clean that also, hydrogen peroxide it able to release the oxygen, right? Oxygen is a kind of stain remover, so in that manner also it able to remove the stains. Virus, so being it is a disinfectant, infection causing organisms like virus can be curated. Especially 3% hydrogen peroxide trade mark solution is required in order to clean up the wounds and soften the calluses and corns. So if you need to soften the calluses and corns, to get rid of them, just to soak them into the mixture of equal parts of the hydrogen peroxide in the warm water. Whenever we are soaking corn into this hydrogen peroxide, that entire corn texture will be softened, so that calluses and corns will be softened by means of soaking into this hydrogen peroxide. These are the kind of natural applications by hydrogen peroxide. And even in order to brighten your teeth, you can wash your teeth with hydrogen peroxide. Decoloration is possible. And treat discoloration of the nails. So whatever paint is there, that can be removed by means of this hydrogen peroxide. Detox baths, so detoxifying agent. So this hydrogen peroxide is the detoxifying agent. That's why this can be used over here. Treatment blackheads and whiteheads. So this is a kind of a skincare property and a cleansing agent over there. And you can whatever wax is there in the ear, that can be easily removed by means of this hydrogen peroxide. And if you are taking this vapor, you are subjected to this kind of vapors. If you are adding a few drops of this hydrogen peroxide, that used to enhance that oxygen content over there, so that healthy inhalation is possible. And this is a decoloration of the teeth, sorry, decoloration of the teeth is possible. Brightening and stain removal, it will be in order to remove the stains. And even as the skincare product, you can utilize this hydrogen peroxide. So many applications are in general in the medical field. By this, we totally concluded the session. Multiple properties of the hydrogen peroxide were discussed. Among all, hydrogen peroxide is taken as the important oxidizing agent over there. Being peroxy linkage is highly sterically strained one, that's the reason why immediate release of oxygen is the very important criteria. In order to find the applications for this hydrogen peroxide, it is the oxygen-rich substance and having oxidation property in addition to reduction, in addition to another disinfectant properties, and so many also. Hopefully, the session is very informative for the viewers, and this is the way we discussed regarding this hydrogen peroxide and its multiple applications in the field of organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and medical field as well. And the session is conducted by Dr. Kavita Kotireddy Kota. Thank you very much for all the viewers being here for the till the completion of the session. I'm very much thankful for that. And one assignment is also provided. If you go through this entire session, you can achieve that. You can find that. And I'm very happy if you are going to post that assignment in the comment section. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.